What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey, still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. You don't like it, you can have that seat up. Okay, so apparently, good old Sony can't go just one generation without screwing people over. Now, before I get into this, I'm going to discuss some new information that just came out. Now, this isn't confirmed. This is just rumors. But according to a user on NeoGAF by the name of Osiris Black, I'm guessing he is either a developer or somebody involved in the game industry, because he didn't get the thread closed or laughed off the site posting this information. So I'm going to assume that what he's saying could possibly be legit. But apparently he or whoever he works for, they had a meeting yesterday, and he was waiting until today for it to get approved before he posted anything. Now, this is concerning the PlayStation 4K. Now, he says that the current price they're looking at is $399, and that they were discussing releasing it with a better CPU, which would raise the price to $499.99. He said they were guaranteed that the price would be no more than that cost, which is $500, and that they're still deciding on the final price and the spec. So it could either have that increased CPU and release like $400, or have it and be released as much as $500. Said they stated that the GPU is twice as powerful as the standard PlayStation 4 and much faster. Didn't exactly say how fast, but that was running on a higher clock speed while being much smaller than the original. Also says that it will have a 4K Blu-ray player, which will upscale games that are not natively 4K. So similar to, say, the Wii U. Not all Wii U games are 1080p, but every Wii U game is displayed at 1080p. Now, also talks about some VR nonsense that I don't really care about. Also says that the way it was stated was stated plainly, and there was really no room for interpretation, that there were developers that already had dev kits for the PlayStation 4K, and that they are making games that will directly target and take advantage of the higher specs of the PlayStation 4K. It was also stated that these games will in fact work on the PlayStation 4, but with considerable sacrifices made to performance. He said it also made it very clear that current games would not be getting any type of performance upgrades while being played on the system, and any benefits to older games would come normally via a patch per game or per developer. So pretty much what they're telling you there is, aside from the games being upscaled or displayed in a 4K resolution, it's not going to magically improve the frame rates or anything like that. So if the game runs at 30 frames per second already on the PlayStation 4, it's going to run at the same on the 4K PlayStation 4K. Now, regarding the PlayStation 4K PlayStation 4K games that they supposedly talked about that was being released for the system to take advantage of it, was Deep Down, a game that a lot of people thought was dead. Remember that Capcom game that was shown when the PlayStation 4 was first shown? That was a completely CG trailer, and then also a game that had the abbreviation of GOW4, which pretty much means God of War 4. Can't mean Gears of War 4 because this is a Sony game. So yeah, Deep Down and God of War 4. Now, the reason why I say this is Sony screwing over its consumers again is for actually multiple reasons. But first things first, no matter what anyone tries to tell you, no matter what anyone tries to damage control, if true, first of all, as you can see out of the information I provided, that is a considerable increase from the normal PlayStation 4. And it is going to split the fan base. No matter which way you try to throw it, that's going to split the fan base. And not exactly in a positive way. Now, I've seen people try to damage control it and compare it to a bunch of completely irrelevant things. I've seen people, well, why do you care? I mean, comparing it to cell phones, cars, TVs. Look, nobody buys a cell phone, a TV, or a car under the assumption that will continue to be the best available for the next 5 to 6 years. When a lot of people bought PlayStation 4s, they bought that system with it in mind that it was going to be the most powerful system, game console available for the next few years. You can try to damage control it all you want, but this is not something that is normal. This is unprecedented. There have never been really this kind of a hardware revision like this that wasn't like say we got like the 32X, which was a system you still had to have the Sega Genesis for, but even still that didn't do very good, did it? Now, the problem here is if the PlayStation 4K does do very well, seeing a lot of people like, why are you worried? Like, you're still going to get games on the PlayStation 4. Yeah, you will still get games on the PlayStation 4, but let's be real. Who's going to feel comfortable buying an inferior version for the same freaking price? It's going to split the fan base, and the fans are actually going to end up fighting with each other. That's the pretty funny part. Like, you're going to have people running around saying, oh, well, you didn't play the real game because you don't have the PlayStation 4K. You played the regular version. You didn't play the definitive version. Oh, you're not a real Sony fan because you own the regular PlayStation 4. Like, these are the types of debates. These are the types of arguments and conversations that are inevitable. Inevitable. And then you got the parents when it comes to the holidays. You got a kid asking for a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4K. The parents, they're going to buy the cheap version. They don't care about that. Oh, yeah, what? This one's $100, $150 cheaper, $200 cheaper? Yo, give me that one. I'll have a bunch of mad little kids, bro. But look, the question you have to ask yourself is why? The PlayStation 4 is the most powerful home console currently on the market. It also has an install base that is far past any other competition. So ask yourself this, why? Why would they need to even do this? Now, see, the Xbox One, a lot of people, especially when it comes to ports, complaining about the horsepower of the system because we get 900p over 1080p and stuff like that. So if anyone, Microsoft probably would have made the most sense to do this. And according to rumors, they are also doing the same thing. But in terms of Sony, why? I'll tell you why. Sony is used to double purchases of gaming consoles, which brings me back to my point about Sony, continuing to screw their owners generation after generation after generation. And I thought that this may be the one gen where Sony didn't do that. And it looks like that's not the case. Now, a lot of people won't know or don't remember this because either you're too young or you just really didn't care back then. But almost every Sony generation, or every generation, Sony hardware has had issues. Even dating back to the PlayStation 1. There was a lot of PlayStation 1s that they had like this disc reading error where you had to literally turn the PlayStation 1 upside down, put the disc in, and then turn it back up for it to work. Or there was some things where you weren't supposed to take the disc out until it was done spinning, and it was a bunch of random crap. But there was issues with the PlayStation 1. Then coming to PlayStation 2, there was even more hardware issues to the point where a lot of them were actually breaking. A lot of people had to buy replacements, and that trickled down to even the PlayStation 3, where the PlayStation 3 fat, like the large majority of PlayStation 3 fats, and I'm willing to say up to 98% of them jokers either don't work or they're ticking time bombs. Like, there are not a lot of working PlayStation 3 fats out there, like around, even on the internet. It's not, there aren't a lot of these. And those made up the first 2 years of the freaking PlayStation 3. So pretty much the large majority of the PlayStation 3s sold in the first 2 years don't even work anymore. So Sony is used to a significant portion of their fan base rebuying systems. Now, with the PlayStation 4, it's not really many hardware problems whatsoever. There was some issues with the controllers, the analog sticks, like the rubber peeling off and stuff like that. But we haven't really heard of people, oh, my PlayStation 4 brick, got to turn it in. Like, it's pretty rare. So that means Sony would be missing out on that double purchase that they usually have. There's actually another reason why I say the PlayStation 2 install base is somewhat inflated, because a lot of people had to rebuy PlayStation 2s. But with the PlayStation 4, it's actually built pretty well, so not that much hardware failure. So how does Sony get people to purchase a PlayStation 4 2 times? Simple. They come out with a PlayStation 4K, which makes you feel bad for owning the inferior version. Make no mistake, even these people that's claiming that they're not going to buy a PlayStation 4K, they're going to stick with their regular PlayStation 4, once they see how crappy them games start performing, they're going to jump ship. If not just because of that, just because of the sheer amount of peer pressure that's going to happen, and shame. They're going to get shamed into buying a PlayStation 4K. That's the crazy part about it. But I don't know. And I've seen people say, oh, well, how can you say something like that? Nintendo's already releasing a new console. Look, first of all, even if the NX did come out this year, that's because they had to. Sony doesn't have to come out with a PlayStation 4.5. They're doing it because they want to. You seen the sales of the Wii U? They have an excuse to do that. And how are you going to actually compare a brand new system to a hardware revision? Are you going to sit there and honestly tell me that you rather pay $300-$400 to rebuy a system you already own with better performance over a brand new system with different games? Really? Sony they're screwing over their fan base again. That's just all I gotta say. They're screwing over their fan base again. You guys can sit there and damage control it all you want, but the fact remains, y'all niggas getting screwed. Have that seat.